Welcome back once again to the caste and campus debate here on India Today TV. We are raising these contentious issues in the aftermath of the tragic suicide of Rohith Vemula that has forced us to look at some of the darker sides of our campus societies. And we have 4 student representatives from different sides with us. The other critical issue is that of caste-based reservation. It has been boiling for several years, right from the Mandal Commission report in 1990. I'm going to ask this audience, how many of you believe that caste-based reservation should be there as it exists on the campus? How many of you believe? Raise your hands. Those who believe in it, raise your hands. Okay, that's most of the Dalit students certainly believe it very strongly, it should exist. How many believe that it should be removed? How many believe that it should be changed? It should be there but changed. Okay, effectively that is about 80%, 90% of this audience, and it is probably predominantly upper caste, wants caste-based reservations to be removed. What do you want in place of caste-based reservation? Are you ready for economic-based reservations? How many of you are ready for reservations based on economic criteria? No? No reservations at all? You don't want any reservations?
Not on the economy, because if you're giving reservations, it should be basically on the talent or the knowledge or the criteria you're giving. If it is a university...
One minute. So should those who are the poorer families get reservation, or should it be on the basis of caste? Yes.
When you say that on the basis of talent, 1950 से पहले कितने दलित बच्चों को स्कूल में घुसने दिया जाता था, उनके कान में तेल डाल दिए जाते थे. नहीं. आज जब उनको अपॉर्चुनिटी मिलने लगा तो आपको दिक्कत हो रही है. आज अगर No. Looking back to the history is very important. See, 1950 से पहले उनको कुछ नहीं दिया जाता था, और वो आप बात नहीं करते थे. You have never talked about Dalit going to the school. कभी आपने बात नहीं किया 1950 से पहले. When reservation came into power in 1950.
Important point. One minute.
मैं कहना चाहता हूँ सर कि आदमी को इक्वालिटी के हिसाब से नहीं, आदमी को कास्ट के हिसाब से, इकोनॉमी के हिसाब से रिजर्वेशन देना ही होगा. बिल्कुल. अगर नहीं देंगे सर तो मेरे पास कपड़े हैं, मेरे पास पैसे हैं, तो मैं पढ़ लूंगा. मेरे घर में जो मेड आती है पढ़ने वाली, उसके बच्चे कभी जिंदगी में नहीं पढ़ पाएंगे सर, क्योंकि उनके पास पैसे ही नहीं है.
Okay.
बिल्कुल.
One minute. I think I want to try and understand this. All of you are from are effectively political representatives. Let's be clear. We can in this audience say, please do away with caste-based reservation. Caste is a reality in this country. We cannot escape it. And caste is linked often to income levels. The poorer people often come from Dalit communities. You cannot deny that. So how can you do away with caste-based reservations? Can any political party on this stage come here today and say we should do away with caste-based reservation on the campus? Can you? Can the ABVP?
No, ABVP has always been struggling to ensure that reservation is followed in universities.
Exactly.
There are innumerable number of students from Dalit community who have been supporting ABVP all over. That is why ABVP has been winning over all over campuses in the university.
1 minute.
See, the primary problem.
One minute.
The primary problem.
1 minute. Let him say.
I'll tell you. The primary issue is this, that.
Please, gentlemen, please. Please keep silent.
The primary issue is this, that the ABVP leader here is saying that.
1 minute, please.
1 minute, but the primary problem is that the ABVP leader here is saying that we need caste-based reservation, but his supporters here are opposing it.
No, how do you identify who my supporters?
The people who have come.
No, that's wrong. No.
And this shows how sincere they are to this question.
No, this shows the hypocrisy.
This shows the
of
hypocrisy.
all parties.
This shows the
hypocrisy.
I am here saying, see, we completely support, and and the Congress party was the party which brought in caste reservation in this country, and we must continue this, because again you must ask this question to Dalit students. We must ask.
But please tell me, should a Ramvilas Paswan's son get reservation? Should a Lalu Prasad Yadav's son get reservation? Should there not come a time? Are we saying that caste-based reservation on our campuses are frozen in time? That there will be no debate, no dialogue, no discussion on this?
There should be discussion, there should be debate on this issue. There is no question, but we must continue caste-based reservation. Until and unless we do that, students from weaker sections, students from Dalit communities will not be able to enter premier institutions of this country.
See, caste is a reality.
Yes, the girl here, yes.
I'm in completely favor of caste-based reservation because caste is a community phenomenon in our country. And I am born in an upper caste, but I support caste-based reservation. And the reason for it, the problem is not that the caste Dalits are getting reservation in our country. The problem is that there have been upper, middle, lower caste in Dalits also, in OBCs also. And there, the reservation is not reaching to the bottom. It is not percolating.
I want to
problem
ask
is
you,
there.
ma'am, you make a very good point, but I want to ask you, do you believe that caste-based reservation as it exists on campuses is dividing?
should be.
No, 1 minute. Is it dividing you all more? Is it dividing people, or because suppose I'm an upper caste student and I do not get my seat, but a Dalit who has got 30% marks less than me gets it. Is it? 1 minute.
See, we have to be more...
Is it ending up creating a sense of anger on both sides? Yes or no?
You cannot deny the fact it is yes. We have to be more vigilant, more awareness should be spread on the issue. We cannot just...
But
talk
you believe
like
it should be there?
It should be there.
The reservation should be there. How many believe that it should not be there at all? Take the mic. Those who believe it should not be there, why do you believe it should not be there? Yes, the boy there.
Let me tell you that the discrimination between Dalit and general is not there, because we general are suffering. Dalits are getting reservation. We have to study day and night to get seats.
Now, are you saying Dalits don't study day and night?
No, they are they are getting reservation. They are getting quotas. They are having quotas. ST, SC there is quota. OBCs there is quota. We are not getting quotas.
Okay, 1 minute.
We have to suffer from this.
What is it? The boy behind you, yes.
सर देखिए, दलित को मिले रिजर्वेशन, छोटा जाति को मिले रिजर्वेशन, उससे दिक्कत नहीं है, लेकिन एक लड़का उच्च जाति का जो गरीब घर में पैदा लिया और उसका 65% आया और लाइन में लगा हुआ है रिजर्वेशन वाले के साथ, वो क्या गलती है उसका? गलती है उसका कि उच्च जाति में गरीब घर में पैदा हुआ। लालू प्रसाद यादव और रामविलास पासवान को बेटा का जरूरत नहीं है, देख के भी नहीं कोई कहेगा कि दलित है, जब उसको मिल रहा है।
एक मिनट, I just want to understand this. Do student representatives, whether NSUI, SFI, Ambedkar groups, actually think about this? Would there actually be any attempt to have a dialogue to ensure genuine equality of opportunity for all? It may be linked to caste, it may be linked to income. Should this be debated or not?
See, all the issues we are free to discuss, and especially in the academic space, we must discuss and debate all the issues. See, in our country, I would like to tell my friends over there. See, in our country, we have one man, one vote, which means everyone is equal. Everyone gets equal representation. Then why not the same kind of representation is not given in educational institutions when it comes to other opportunities? Why Dalits are underrepresented? Why people from backward communities are underrepresented? Hence, the idea of implementing caste reservation was primarily this, that everyone must...
In 2016 it is still as valid as it was in 1950.
Yes, it is still valid. Why the government is not releasing the caste census? This is primarily the issue. Yes. Let the government release the caste census, and then you would know what is the status of Dalit communities, what is the status of people from backward communities in this country are. Then we must...
Gurinder, you want to make a point? Yes.
Yes. The main thing is that, discrimination has happened because of the caste system. So caste system, I mean, should be,
so it will continue in perpetuity.
Reservation has to be based on caste system.
Reservation has to be based on caste system.
Yes.
Because discrimination is on the basis of caste.
On the basis of it is not. Second thing is that, what kind of education system is this? There are hardly, out of 100, only 8 or 10 students, 10 plus 2. And what is the divide between these schools are? Most of the Dalit, Adivasi and Bahujan students, they go in the government schools. And government schools in the last few years, more than 1,50,000 have been closed down. So I am saying, and even the RGNF, the scholarships, even Rohith Vemula has written 1,75,000. There are students in JNU who have come from such a humble background after a lot of struggle. And they are not getting scholarship in time. So what I am saying is there are a lot of barricades which are based on caste because they are identified as Dalit, as Adivasi, and because they are engaged in anti-caste movement. They are the Ambedkarites. So that's why lots of hurdles have.
So you are saying till those hurdles remain, caste-based reservation will have to remain.
Till I have this feeling that I, being a Dalit, may face discrimination when I will be interviewed somewhere, when I will have any opportunity. I have this feeling, so it has to be there.
Okay,
And people have
okay,
to
you
bear
made
with
your
it.
point. I think you made your point, and it is a very strong point that you make. Welcome back to our final segment on caste and the campus, where we are discussing issues confronting the campus, the darker side in the aftermath of the Rohith Vemula tragic suicide in Hyderabad. Let's get some more final questions. Yes, what's your question?
सर हम लोग जेएनयू से हैं और वहाँ कुछ दलित ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस हैं जो जानबूझ के कन्फ्लिक्ट क्लियर करना चाह रही हैं। जैसे बप्सा वहाँ एक दलित ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है, जब उन्होंने इलेक्शन कम्पीट किया प्रेसिडेंशियल के लिए तो उनके पर्चे में था कि अगर हम जीतते हैं तो हम सबसे पहले जनरल वालों को हॉस्टल ही नहीं देंगे, पहले दलित को हॉस्टल देंगे, जबकि वहाँ सर जबकि जेएनयू में
So you are saying that
Yes,
Dalit
sir.
groups are also
Some Dalit
targeting
groups.
the other
Some
side.
Dalit groups.
Okay,
And they are creating this conflict.
You make a point. This girl has a question here below. Yes, ma'am.
ABVP brought out a parcha saying, stop politics over murder. So I want to clarify that ours is not a politics over murder. We are just asserting the right of every individual to survive with dignity in this country. And I fail to comprehend how this can be branded as politics over murder.
So, okay, let me get a few points here. Yes.
सर अभी मेरे साथी ने कहा कि जवाहरलाल नेहरू यूनिवर्सिटी में क्या बोलते हैं कुछ संगठन इस तरह से करते, लेकिन मैं खुद जवाहरलाल नेहरू यूनिवर्सिटी से हूँ। वहाँ पे जो डिस्क्रिमिनेशन होता है, आप वहाँ की जो इंटरव्यू बेस रिटन में अच्छे नंबर होते हैं वहाँ की स्टूडेंट्स के, जब मैंने रिपोर्ट निकाली वहाँ की इंटरव्यू की तो इंटरव्यू में डिस्क्रिमिनेशन SC ST OBC को 0 से 15 तक मैक्सिमम। जब जनरल का मैं उठा के देखता हूँ डाटा तो वहाँ पे डाटा निकलता है 15 से 30 के बीच में उनको नंबर दिए जाते हैं इंटरव्यू में।
तो आप कह रहे हैं कि जनरल कैटेगरी स्टूडेंट को ज्यादा मार्क्स दिए जाते हैं।
Okay, हाँ, I am right.
Okay. Yes, what is your question?
Yeah, these guys are saying that there is no discrimination in campus. I want to tell these guys that there are your functionaries who belong to Dalit category, Dalit community, and you are discriminating to them. And this issue is soon coming in public discourse.
You are from NSUI.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So Okay. 1 minute. Yes. What is your question?
Sir, my question, sir, I am not a supporter of any party, but so I was reading in the Times of India, after the incident of Rohith happened, sir, National Students Union of India broke Akhil Bharatiya Vidyarthi Parishad's office in Bangalore and in Bombay, sir. So what are these guys planning to do?
Okay, 1 minute. Is that true? Yes or no?
Sir, Times of India is a highly reputed
1 minute. Who broke those offices then?
In Bombay, the incident, whatever happened, some people allege some students vandalized their office. NSUI has nothing to do with that. Name one person. Name one person. Name one NSUI office bearer.
Sir, I would like to say that I was talking about the discrimination. That लड़कियों को लगता है कि उनके साथ डिस्क्रिमिनेशन होता है, दलितों को लगता है उनके साथ डिस्क्रिमिनेशन होता है, जो गरीब है उनको लगता है उनके साथ डिस्क्रिमिनेशन होता है। इसीलिए हिंदुस्तान में रिजर्वेशंस हैं। जिस दिन यहाँ की सरकारें, यहाँ के लोग ये समझ जाएंगे कि हम एक हैं, अपने आप रिजर्वेशन का मुद्दा बंद हो जाएगा।
My question is that there has been a clear ideological fascism unleashed by the leftist student organizations in our universities, and they don't want the unification between the upper caste and the lower caste people.
You are saying that the left does not want any unification between upper caste and Dalits?
Because they want to take advantage of the rift. They want to take advantage of the rift.
Okay, the left wants to take advantage of the rift. Yes, somebody here. Yes. Yes, come on.
Since we are talking about issues that we face in campuses,
yes.
And there is one important point that we've missed throughout,
yes.
And that is that the government currently is interfering in the functioning of autonomous institutions constantly. They know that there is dissent rising from the students, from among the student communities, and they have been trying to crush that dissent.
Okay.
And this has constantly
been happening. Let me get one final point. Yes.
We, the upper caste, are very happy when the Dalit students are studying in the primary schools, in the schools where the facilities is not good. And we are so very disappointed when they get the same admission in the government colleges. Now we are not happy with the private institutions. We want the government institutions, but schooling time, no. We want the private institution. What kind of hypocrisy is this then?
Okay, one minute. I'm going to try and make sense of all this. Basically, the fact is that there is a divide, I think, that exists. Let us not run away from the fact. And I'm going to try and understand what is the way forward then. Let us be clear. There is a divide which exists. It may be in the mind, it may be in reality, but it is there. You cannot run away from it. I'm going to ask each of you who's on this platform, what is the way forward? You start first. What is the way forward?
The way forward is that, there is a lot of backlog which is there, okay, in faculty positions in Delhi University, across India, it is there, and it has not deliberately been filled by any government. Second thing is that, there is a budget, schedule caste plan, schedule caste sub-plan, and there are a lot of slices has happened actually, and it's not been, rather it has been used for the infrastructure and all these things. And another thing is there should not be any kind of interference from the government side, the political pressure on the government.
Okay, you've made your point. You've made your point. Let me come to you, Sunan, because this young man here made a good point. He's claiming that left groups are engaging in ideological fascism, and you are trying to divide the upper caste and the Dalits for political advantage. That's a very serious point he has made. I want you to respond to that. That just as Dalits genuinely feel discriminated, there is a section of the upper caste which believe that you actually have a vested interest in perpetuating this discrimination.
See, as far as the point regarding ideological fascism of the left students organization, I already made it clear that when we see the universities, how do we view it? We view it as open space in which all political spectrum has a role. They can keep their opinion. And secondly, the second point I would like to say,
if Mr. Bahuguna and his party was to have a debate on Ram Mandir in the campus, you will not allow it. Let's be clear.
That is not
you also have your differences with them.
We have differences. But a student organization organizing a public meeting is different from a university administration organizing a something program.
Okay, point taken.
Second point, which is the main point. There are many rifts at this moment, even after more than 65 years of our independence, a rift on various lines exists in our society. That's why these affirmative actions are necessary. But on the other hand, the reservations are not in itself, they are not the solution. They are not the final solution. The size of the cake has to
That's exactly what I'm saying. Why are you not all fighting for better quality institutes, more institutes?
Obviously,
why don't you fight for those issues?
Obviously, we are fighting.
When we are saying today there is a demand-supply crisis in this country.
When we are saying
in
that
our
the
colleges.
size of the cake, there should be equitable distribution. At the same time, we are also saying that the size of that very cake should increase.
Okay.
If that is not done, the resentment among some upper caste sections, that will remain.
Okay. Let me ask you this then. The Congress party is accused at various times in this program that you have been in power for the longest time. So, जितना भी बुरा देश में हुआ है वो कांग्रेस के देश शुरू किया है. What is the general feeling? How do you respond to that? That today when you go and protest about Rohith Vemula, as I pointed out, suicides have taken place in Hyderabad before. There are suicides which have taken place in other parts of the country. Discrimination against Dalits is not a new phenomenon. It has existed for 60 years. Can the Congress today turn around and offer me what is the solution? What is the solution? I want a solution now.
See, first of all, all the suicides, there was this Nirbhaya incident.
Yes.
There are rapes happening throughout the country, but there was one particular Nirbhaya incident which was highlighted and everyone discussed, and even today we are discussing it. And similarly, why Rohith's issue is being discussed today widely is because unlike other suicides, this suicide was caused by the intervention of the university administration and the government in the first place. That is why discrimination happens, but when the authorities, the administration which is responsible for protecting students, they themselves are involved in causing a death, then we raise voice. And if anyone thinks that is politics, yes, that is our politics, and we will continue to do that, because we cannot remain silent when a Dalit student is forced to commit suicide on campus. We will not remain silent, number one. Number two, as I said, the solution is when
an upper caste student commits suicide because of lack of facilities, you will also not remain silent? You will also not remain silent?
Any student committing suicide, any student facing discrimination on campus is completely unacceptable, and we will protest. And it is not that we are not protesting, it happens everywhere. The Tamil Nadu incident also, there were protests happened in Chennai, but unfortunately that issue didn't get as much highlight as the other issues. Number two, the way forward is that we must increase our public spending for education. The budgetary allocation should be increased. We have IITs, we have IIMs. The government, somebody asked here what the Congress government has done. The Congress government only had established all these institutions, but that is not enough. That is not enough. We need more We need more institutions. We spend only 1.2% of our GDP for education.
So you also
must-
had an opportunity
we must
when you were
increase.
in power to increase budgets. You did not increase it as much as you should.
I'll tell you.
It is always good to be in the opposition.
In
That's why.
2012, let me complete. In 2012-2013 budget, UPA government increased the education HRD allocation by 18%. In 2013-2014, it again went up by 8%. Now, in 2015-2016, it went down by 24%. This government has done this. Who is going to answer this? How are you going to resolve this larger issue?
Okay.
So this is a larger issue that is facing
So
this
you
country.
also believe the larger issue is actually to increase spending,
We
to
must.
also improve the quality of institutes,
Correct.
to have more institutes, so
Correct.
that the demand-supply crisis that is breeding resentment, as was pointed out by the left representative, becomes less. At the end, I want to know from you, Mr. Bahuguna, the fact is that the BJP today is being accused in some way of branding people. So-and-so is anti-national. So-and-so is in some way, because you do not agree with their views, has to be branded anti-national. And this is also sparking off a divide. You said at the start of the program about Ambedkar, that Ambedkar would not have supported the kind of movement that Rohith Vemula perhaps was supporting. The fact is, we don't know that. And we don't know whether Rohith Vemula, in a sense, represents an alternative viewpoint. And surely he must have the space to express that. Do you concede that you also need to change the way you brand people as anti-national in the future and actually need to show empathy instead of getting into confrontation? Isn't that the future?
See, ABP has been working in the campuses since 1949, and we have given a lot of good leaders to this country. We have given a lot of good Dalit leaders in our organization and elsewhere. And ABP has been constantly working to improve situation on ground. We have been constantly saying that 6% of the GDP should be spent on education, but no governments have paid heed to this, including the present one. We have constantly been saying that commercialization of education should not be encouraged. Commercialization should be reduced, and private educational institutions who
why don't all of you come together on commercialization of education?
That's what
I think all of us would appreciate if
exactly. But you see, when
SFI came together and opposed the manner in which education is being commercialized.
Exactly, but they would not get political brownie points out of it. But because they do not get brownie points out of it, that is why they would not come on such issues. Because they want to play Dalit politics, they want to treat people as vote bank. They want Dalits to remain Dalits, they want Muslims to remain Muslims. That is why they place this.
I have a question. Tomorrow we all of us will march to MHRD
to work together for the prosperity of the country.
Tomorrow all of us sitting here, let us march to the MHRD against the budget cut down. I invite Saked also to join, all your supporters
When in the past have you invited me? When in the past have you invited us? When have you tried to initiate a dialogue?
Okay.
And why did you not do this in the last 60 years?
Let's leave it. The fact is that we have tried to initiate a dialogue here today. And the best thing that can be done is if there is a common minimum program for all our student activists and all the student bodies to come together on certain issues. And the fact is the last thing we want is a caste divide on the campus. Exactly. Tragically, there is a reality though of caste that exists on the campus. To try and tackle that will need empathy, not confrontation. That is the only way perhaps that we can pay tribute to the memory of Rohith Vemula and ensure that there are no more Rohith Vemulas in our society. Our policemen are not even being provided with basic mine-proof vehicles.
That's right, Radeep, and if we are to just put things into perspective, improvised explosive devices of the type that we saw
about the show, it's pollution-free, it's noise-free, and it's opinion-free. Well, actually it's not, because all we have is our opinion. On the show this